Hello everybody, welcome to another great episode of Minecraft Monday, where today we take a full and complete tour of my mansion in Minecraft. Hello everybody, I'm Joel Homie, your guys' host for another great episode of Minecraft Monday, where today we are going to be taking a very nice and detailed tour of my mansion, which as you can tell has been upgraded. Now you might have noticed that I haven't been really keeping a steady flow of building out in the episodes lately. That is mainly because of this whole entire COVID thing going around, and it's been sort of taking a toll on me, not being able to bring myself to actually make videos and stuff like that, so I've been just playing by myself, not doing much of any recording or stuff like that. But I'm going to try to make up for it today by taking you guys through the finalized and, well, sort of, not finalized, I used the wrong word, the upgraded mansion. So today we're going to be taking a tour going all the way from over here, all the way to over there, which as you can see, if you were watching when the Minecraft Monday started, when it was literally cut off right about here and right about here. It was just this little box, and I still called it my mansion. It wasn't really much of a mansion, but now that it has grown to this size, it is quite large, so I would go to the extent to actually call it a mansion there. You can see some of the armor going out of render distance. So as you can see, as I said, the mansion did just start as this little box. I did upgrade it, moving that way and literally just adding another mansion and fusing them together in the middle. I didn't like the look, so I changed up the windows a little bit and lived with that for a little while, but it also didn't look good because it literally looks like two mansions fused together. So I tried out watching some Minecraft house videos from like Green and stuff like that, which he's a guy that plays the Hermitcraft server, and he had said to add shapes. So I tried adding these boxes to the front, and here we are now. So let's go ahead and start by just walking up the staircase, or one of the two staircases. There's another one over there, leading to the other half of the pathway for the village, which, just imagine that there is not a door here, and that is how big the inside of the mansion was. But with the upgrades, now obviously we have things like the trophy room, and, well, what's eventually going to be a chest room over here on this side, which is actually one of the larger sort of parts with the A-frame right there, which this isn't really an A-frame, but you have that A shape right there. But yeah, so all that was in here originally was a crafting table and a furnace, and then after a while I had to start getting villagers for the village, so I had to make a brewing stand to make zombie villagers into villagers, which if you don't know how to do that, there's a lot of videos on that. I'm not going to be making one, but I had made the brewing stand so that I could make the potions to turn them back into villagers. And then, as I said, going along with the story of expanding it that way, so before I did all of this and made the big towers, when it was literally just two mansions fused together, I had made this big staircase going up in the middle. So once again, imagine that there's just a wall here, and that this sort of pattern with these blocks just continued here, and that this wasn't here. So that is when the sort of trophy room was added here. So obviously we have some items, like this is the first compass that we found, this is just a clock, it may be the first one, I don't really know, and this may or may not be the first Totem of Undying that I ever got. It's definitely one of the first though. And then over here, as you can see, we have just some stock suits of leather and the wood, and then iron and gold, which if we're going by power, this one would actually be back here and the iron would be here. But in the crafting table, we're going up by levels, so in case you're wondering, that's why those are in that order. And then here we have the diamond suit, which actually right now is missing a couple things because I do have to recraft a sword and put a little diamond right here. Right, wrong thing. But as you can see, we do have a nice and complete diamond suit that is all complete and healthy. As you can see there, everything is, you know, not damaged and stuff like that. And then this eventually, when 1.16, when I get 1.16, this will eventually be for a suit of netherite. And then here we have chain, which obviously the only thing that you can symbolize chain with is steel, or in this case, or in Minecraft, it is iron. And then you can see here we've got a couple pillager things, some more things like redstone, that's to symbolize that I stand for building redstone stuff, golden apple, and then over here golden pickaxe, which that has actually been with me for a while. It's may once again be the first, but I don't know. And then here we've got an emerald and another pillager banner. And then I didn't mention earlier, but we do actually have a anvil on both sides, like over there. An anvil is usually over there, but it is broken right now. And then, obviously, the anvil over here. But moving through the trophy room, we can go look at the other half of this, which, as I said, before I built the big A-frame towers out here in front, this was literally just another mansion fused together in the middle. So this is basically identical to the other half, excluding like literally some things. Obviously, like this is a new crafting table and that's not a furnace type of thing, but instead we have the smithing stand, I believe, if I'm correct. And then here we have the stone cutter, a smoker, and here we have a blast furnace and a grindstone, and then another stairway with the pillager banner, which I don't think I showed earlier, but there is a pillager banner on the other staircase over there. And with that being said, that is sort of the main area, and now we can talk about the main big towers, the A-frame towers, and then we'll go ahead and move up to the second floor, and then, well, there's not really much to talk about, but we'll move to the balconies and basically just show that, well, it's a balcony. So, going to these rooms here on the side, right before we go to talking about the big pillars, or the A-frame posts, if you will, these will eventually, or at least one of these rooms will eventually be a chest room, which that will actually be one of the upcoming episodes, which will be building a chest room over on this room, but the one that's on that side, because they are perpendicular designs, so that one will be a chest room, and this one may very well also be a chest room. But now we can go ahead and talk about these big A-frame towers. So these ones were added, as I'd said earlier, to sort of mellow out the look of it, just making the mansion not look like two mansions fused together, which is literally still what it is, but we have these big, nice A-frame towers on the front that give it a really nice, tall, and intimidating look, in my opinion. So if we go down to the ground level here, you can see that there are actually 3 of these. There's one over there, one here, and then one there. This one is the most different because it does actually, we have the mine down there, which I don't want to jump on the crops, but you can see there is the entrance to the mine down there. And then, now that we've talked about these posts, I do really like how they came out. I really like how it gives that intimidation factor to the mansion. As I think I've mentioned way in the past, I do like the intimidation factor of builds, which actually, excuse me, I don't think I've actually said that. I'm pretty sure I've imagined making a video about taking a tour of my settlement of Sanctuary in Fallout 4. You'll know what Sanctuary is if you've played the game, but I'm pretty sure that when I was imagining making an episode on that settlement, I said that I like the intimidation factor of bases, so I don't think I've actually said that here on YouTube. But I do like the intimidation factor, which is why I do like how these big A-frame towers came out a lot more than I thought I would. So now that we've talked about the towers, we can go ahead and just move up to the general second floor, which, as you can see here, I'm going to go over this half first, because this is the half that has been here ever since the mansion was built. So as you can see here, if you didn't notice earlier, we do actually have the large JHS logo, which I apologize, I should have mentioned that earlier. I just didn't really notice it, or didn't think of it rather. But as you can see, if you don't know what the logo is, you will actually, it should be down in this bottom sort of corner. If you're watching this on YouTube, my logo should be there. But if you're watching this in the future, and I've made one in advance, obviously it won't be there, but this is the current logo for the time being. So it is a J, if you can see that, and imagine the H right there, and then the S there at the bottom. And then you have the set of windows there in the middle so that you can look down and see it. And then here, this is where my bed is, and then this is just red wool, because I put it there because I had a spare when I was building corporate for redesigning this into red, but I ended up not liking it, so I had a spare, and put it there. And then over here against the window on the front, you can see here that we have some chests and some, I believe this is red nether brick if I'm not mistaken. And you can see here that this is just some random stuff. Like, this used to be armor and stuff, but it's actually sort of moved to other places. And then it seems like Deegan has actually stolen one of my chests for some reason. I don't know why. But we do also have some armor stands, which are once again just some random things thrown together to add some look to the inside. And here, this is where the mansion used to end, so that is why there are just random blocks of stuff hanging here. That is where the mansion used to end. Like you can see here, here is the pillar, and as I said earlier, the mansion did end right about here. So you can see that these would have actually been about the edge of the mansion before I added the A-frame tower to this side. What you can see on the inside, it is very nice to look out these massive windows, which another technique that I had tested out and tried for myself for the first time from one of Brian's videos. Once again, actually, as a matter of fact, I will have a link to his channel in the description since I'm mentioning his work and his techniques a lot. But in the same video that he talked about adding different shapes, he talked about making your windows have variation, so I did try adding the white stained glass for the first time, and I do like how it came out. Now, as you might notice, it's only on the front set of windows on the towers and not over here. That's because I don't want to have to go through the whole entire mansion and do it, so it's only on the towers if you haven't noticed already. So, other than that, this side is completely done and talked about. There's nothing more to talk about, excluding the pillager banners and the torch placement, which is just on every pillar, excluding on the corners where there has to be lanterns, because the torches can't meet. And then here in the center tower, this is mine and Deegan's backup suits, which as you can see here on the trophy room, I didn't really show it earlier, I just went over this bottom layer, but here on the second layer of the trophy room, we actually have mine and Deegan's diamond suits, which Deegan's chestplate and legs actually despawned because he died when we went on an adventure, and he actually has his new one, so that is why those are not there. But my suit, as you can see, is nice and complete. This is actually the first suit that I've actually ever made out of diamonds. On the other hand, or actually on the other face, or the side, we have some more armor suits, which these are supposed to be like the mini guardians, or that's what I called them, of the mansion, so that when you're walking out of the mountain base, which I used to do quite frequently because until I removed everything out of there, it was a place that I had to go very often because it is where my home base was until I built the mansion. So I thought that being able to see these would be cool, so I called them the Guardians. And then here you can see that on this side it is once again perpendicular to that side, just about besides, as I had mentioned earlier, the posts down that make this tower meet to the floor. And then once again pillager banners and stuff like that. And then I've gone over this section, Deegan's chest, the armor stands, and there you go. There is the second floor, and then the last thing I need to mention is actually that diamond block. That is the very first diamond block I have ever made in this game, and then the chandelier coming down made out of some oak fences, oak planks, and some torches, which that I literally just made up as I was going. I wanted some nice piece to be there in the middle, so that is what I came up with. So, yeah, now we can go ahead and talk a little bit about the balconies, which just, I needed something to connect the two towers in between, because it kind of looked weird with nothing here. So I had the idea from the beginning, like when I had very first decided to put the towers over here on either side, like that tower over there on that side, when I decided to put these here, I had already been thinking of the idea of putting a balcony connecting the two, as I thought it'd be a cool overlook. And with that being said, I believe we have gone over the whole entire mansion's design, besides a little bit of the exterior on the back. So if we run around back here, we can see that we run out these doors, which mind you were also here when I first made the mansion. And here we have the back entrance to the trophy room, which is where I typically enter, and as I said earlier, when the mountain base was an area that I was going through quite frequently. These are the guardians that I had talked about earlier, sort of overlooking and watching over the mansion. Anyway, the design of the towers does carry around a little bit. As you can see here, the very top of the towers are actually here, but it does get cut off to blend in with the roof again, because obviously it looked weird if we had the towers on both sides. So I bring back sort of like one of those mid-roof outlooks, like the windows that would typically pop out of like an A-frame house on the second floor. So as you can see there, they do peek through right there. And just like the towers on the front, this design is replicated in the middle and on the right and left side, as you can see there. And then this isn't really part of the mansion, but I'm going to go over it, and since this is technically part of the equipment that would be involved with the mansion. But I wanted to make something that looked better than just having a room inside the mountain base that had the enchantment table in it. So as you can see, I am trying to move out of the mountain base and out here, because expanding inside looks good from the inside, but when you expand out here, you can make the outside look nice. So that's why I'm trying to build more rather than actually mine. So this was originally a dead tree, but I had gotten a, I believe shears, yeah, shears, and gotten a bunch of oak leaves and put them all over here. And you might say that it doesn't really complete the look being alive, but I think that turning it into a living thing actually helped its look quite a bit. It gives a little bit more life to the overall build here. So yeah, with that being said, now that it is nighttime, I believe that it is a perfect time to end off the video. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as usual, if you have any questions on the build, I will be free to answer questions in the comments. So if you guys enjoyed the video,